You're listening to From Our Lens, a podcast for photographers and brides where we dive into all things weddings.
Whether you're a pro behind the lens or a bride-to-be, we've got you covered.
Join in on the conversation and take it from the gals who have been to a wedding or two.
Grab your camera or your wedding planner and tune in for our hot wedding takes. Let's focus on your forever. Hello, welcome back.
Yep. Hi, welcome back.
We are doing this for the second time again. Jordan obviously is sick and we forgot to hit record on the mic. So
listen, I took too much
It's all
NyQuil,
good.
okay? Or Dayquil, I don't even know, whatever.
NyQuil before the podcast.
No, it was Dayquil, whatever. I don't even
Yeah.
know. I think you guys should cancel me. I'm canceled. Oh my God.
It's
I
okay.
was
You're
saying-
tired. You're good.
I was saying to Sarah, like, if you are watching, I'm in my like comfy clothes. It's like
Yeah.
a Sunday, and everybody knows how we are on a Sunday, and we're kind of
Yeah.
like not all there, and that's how
Yeah.
I feel today. So
It's actually a big deal that we're recording on a Sunday because usually we
I
are
know.
dead to the world on a Sunday.
I'm very proud of us, really.
Yeah.
I
The only
truly
reason
am.
I am here is because I have to go to a supper tonight. Otherwise, I probably would have been like, Jordan, let's just push it to tomorrow.
I know, yeah.
No, but we will cut back to our intro. It will just have Jordan's camera audio. How's it going, Jordan?
I'm doing good, but as you can tell, I'm sick. You can hear my raspy, nasty voice. This is like the end of this. It's funny, like this is my last wedding on Saturday, and like my body's like, yeah, done. Now you're
Shutting
sick.
down. Yeah.
I was sick like 2 days before the wedding, but like now I feel like
You're really
I
feeling
think
it.
I'm feeling it now, and I think it's because I was just like keeping it together. Like I was like, I have to be okay for this wedding. So then I just was like, whatever. And now my body knows that I'm like a little bit less busy, even though I'm really not, because it's fall and it's crazy and whatever. But like, yeah, I'm sick now. So, but I'm surviving. So
No, it's good. No,
yeah.
you have had a rough go this fall for sickness.
I've been sick for like a month. I feel like,
Yeah. That's your body telling you. You took on too much.
but I've been eating my greens. I've
Good.
been smoothies. Like
Wow,
I go
proud
on
of
my
you.
walks. I'm
Yeah.
drinking water. Like, if this is what my body does to me when I'm trying to be healthy, maybe I should just go back to being unhealthy. Like, I just don't.
Maybe not. Maybe your body's just like, wow, all these foreign substances.
What
Just
is
kidding.
water in
Just
my
kidding.
body?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Has to learn how to process it again.
Yeah.
No.
but
That's
how are you?
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm very tired from yesterday's wedding. It was
Yeah.
good, but we had to drive like an hour and a half each way. So I feel like that always just makes, like, when you have a 10-hour wedding day, it just makes it a little bit longer. So yeah, but I was feeling like my shoulders were stiff yesterday. Like I was
Yeah.
feeling like my
Yeah.
body felt more run down, like not sick, but just like my body was feeling it. So it's that time of year.
I had to drive to my wedding, and then it wasn't a 10-hour day, it was a 9-hour day. But then I drove home after that to go to a friend's wedding.
And is that 3 hours?
No, it was an hour and a half. So I drove
Yeah.
an hour and a half to the wedding, and then I drove an hour and a half home, and then I went to another wedding of my friends because I missed their wedding because
Yeah.
I had my own wedding to go to.
Yeah.
So I got there at midnight, and so then I took like some pictures of like the crazy dance floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like I saw a Snapchat. It looked like your camera was with you.
Yes, well, I told her I would take like after dark pictures.
Cute.
of,
Yeah.
like the party, because that's what I did for my other friend. And
Yeah.
it, honestly, like, if I can give you a little, I'm not gonna edit them. I'm just gonna send her all the like.
It's like your little
Photos.
wedding gift to them.
Yeah, because I couldn't be
Yeah.
there, and it was nice to see, and they were having a hoot, so it was really fun.
Yeah. And that's when you get the good dance photos anyways.
Oh
like
my
even
God.
last night, I was like, it was such a fun crew during the day, like on the party bus.
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna get such good dance photos. But it's always like people after like eating and doing speeches, they need a bit to like amp up that energy again. So like sometimes I feel like people don't start dancing till like 11, 12.
Yeah, you definitely get that at like midnight, which is when I got there. And then like after their wedding, like they got married out in the country. So I drove home and it was a half-hour drive home. So I got home at like 3:00 in the morning. And so I was like, technically, like, how long of a day is that? I left my house or left for the wedding at like 10:30, and I got home at 3.
Oh my God.
I don't know how many. I don't know
that
how
would be
many
like
more of these.
I don't even know. 15, 16-hour day.
I don't know how many more of these long days I can take in my old age.
I know.
Honestly,
It's getting harder and harder and harder.
Yeah,
Like,
but
seriously.
honestly, it was very fun, and like I'll show you the pictures from it, and it's actually
They're
like,
wild. That's so funny. From the
I, like,
Snapchats I
got
saw, they
there.
looked pretty fun.
I got there and like no one had shirts on, and I'm just like, oh, okay, nice.
That's why I wish, as a photographer, you could just fast forward 2 hours of the night so you can capture that kind of stuff, because it is so fun to do party shots. Because people,
Yeah.
like, if they're like not partying and they're just dancing, like, they look at you because you're sticking a camera and a flash in their face. But when people are like into the music, into
Yeah.
the party, they don't even see you.
No,
You're just like
no.
in the background. And that's when
No,
I
it's
love, because
perfect.
you get the most like chaotic, raw pictures
Yeah,
at that time.
And I mean, the two that I've done this at, like, I know all of the people there
Yes.
too, so that also
they really
helps
don't care.
because they're like, Jordan, and then they're like, eh.
Yeah.
And then they do a pose or whatever.
So funny. No, I
Yeah.
feel like when I get married one day, I almost want to hire like a separate photographer to come at like 11 o'clock to get those
Yeah.
chaotic, or 10 o'clock maybe. I don't know. But like
10 to 1 or something.
yeah, like an event photographer that could come and shoot like the party and the dancing and like,
Yeah.
and that's where like people look back and they, like, even yesterday the bride was saying like, I'm so excited to see the pictures from the bus, because they were having the time of their lives in that party bus. Like,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
wild. And she was like, I'm just excited because those are the photos that we look back on and it's like, okay, this is wild.
I
Yeah.
just love it. Yeah.
No, I think it's such a fun part of a wedding, and I love when we
Yeah.
actually get to see that part too. Like,
Yeah, it
but
was
then my
good.
wedding last weekend, like, sometimes I think it's just depends on the timeline, because I think they had a shorter supper and they did have a smaller group, but they were like dancing when we left. Like,
Well, and the crowd, and you know what? The crowd
it depends
too.
on the crowd.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And if you don't have a party crowd,
Yeah.
like,
And this,
There's
but
not-
yesterday was, but like, I think last weekend was like a smaller closed in space where the dance floor was. So maybe
Yeah.
that was part of it too. I think there's so many things that like can really change the dynamic of your dance floor.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah. And it was dark and like more of like, you know, people were in the
It's
mood.
more of a vibe. It's a vibe. As much as we make fun of that word, I think it does have value in terms of like, you know, like if there's a spot with a vibe, people will vibe in
Yes.
that, versus like just a room that you're told to dance in. I don't know. Yeah. Well, let's get into our content for today. Let's do it.
Yeah. We have some exciting things to talk about.
I feel like this is more geared for our photographer pals that are listening, but I think if you're
Yeah.
a bride too, it's also kind of fun to listen to like what we do. So obviously it's in the title, so you might have an idea of
Yeah.
like what we're talking about. But we're gonna like go through like our like essential gear list of like I almost wanted to like say like what we bring to weddings, but this could be, I guess we can always like branch out and say like our essential gear list for like just photography, for like, because we're very much like portrait photographers, so I guess it would be very specific to portrait photography, but there is different things that I bring to a wedding that I don't bring to normal shoots, so I think it'll be cool. We probably have a few different things because you do video and stuff, so you'll have some things on your list that I won't have.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun, and we can kind of explain like what we use them for, why they're important, and
Yeah, totally.
all that,
Yeah.
all of the above.
So what do we start with? Maybe some cameras.
Yeah, I think the cameras are pretty essential. They probably need to be the
Yeah,
first thing we talk
Probably
about.
number one. Yeah.
I think it's essential that you have two and not
Yes.
just one.
I think that
might be
is an underrated. And even for brides, like, I think it is important to know what your photographers shoot with too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think even as a bride, I don't know if you're going to know, like, if they tell you, oh, I shoot with a Sony A7 III or A7 IV
Yeah, they're
versus
going to
like
be
a
like,
Canon.
that's French.
They're not going to know what
No.
they're not going to know what that means. But I think having, like, for sure, two cameras is, at least in my eyes, an essential, because I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm there with one camera and it dies and I literally can't do anything. And lots of times, like I've talked to you a lot about this, but like we both have 2 cameras strapped to our bodies with our camera strap. But lots of times I only use my one lens and my one camera because that's just like what I gravitate towards. And I still will always have the other one on me just in case. Even if I know I'm not going to use it because I don't want to ever be stuck. Like, what if your card, like sometimes this happens to me lots actually. I'll fill up my card in one camera and it's like an important moment. Like, for example, they're popping champagne and my one card, I'm taking pictures and it's like, oh, card full. If you try and switch cards in the middle of them popping champagne, the pop's going to be done.
Yeah.
Versus grabbing your other camera quickly, backing up a little bit and taking it on that.
Yeah.
Like that's happened to me quite a bit. And it's like, if I didn't do that, then I would have missed it. Or like, what if that one camera had died? Like stuff like that. It's just nice to have too. And I think it's an essential. I think as a professional, it's just something that if you're going to be a professional about it, you probably should have to for that like reason.
I think we've talked about this before. But I think like one of our instructors said that he was shooting a wedding with his wife. It was during the ceremony and her camera, like, I don't know if it started on fire, but it started smoking. And I don't know if then, like, she was a secondary shooter, so I don't know if she would have had to, but yeah, her camera started like, but they would have had a backup. But that's why sometimes like, I'm like, you know, I have a third backup, but like you need that third backup because it's like triple insurance, but it's crazy.
Wild. Even And then on that note, 2 lenses, obviously, for your 2 cameras. I mean, you could probably get away with having just an extra camera and then one lens and then switching it. It just takes more time. If it really truly is just your backup, you probably could have just one lens and you could just have your, like, that's fine too. But I think also having 2 lenses, again, in my mind, to me is an essential, at least for my business, because I don't want to just have one angle. Like, different lenses give you different views, like closer up, wide shots. There's some funky lenses you can get for like cool effects and stuff. And it's like to have like a good gallery and to give your clients like the best photos, the best possible way you can is to have 2 different lenses with different perspectives. I think because if you're just like, I know some people do just shoot with one camera and one lens and that's totally fine. But I think just for variety, it's nice to have 2 different perspectives. So I mean, again, for me, that's an essential that like I need to take. So,
and I would say, like you said, you shoot more on the one. I honestly think I'm like 50-50, especially at weddings. Like portrait sessions, I definitely have a favorite. Like our 35s are our favorite lenses to shoot with because they're trendy. It's what people like right now. It's what we like. But I think at a wedding day, like I'll use both bodies definitely because like at certain parts of the day, I'll have a zoom lens. And it's also that like triple 4th, 5th, 6th backup because you're going to have 4 cards between those 2 cameras. So you know that like, say this camera started on fire, your one camera, you still have half the wedding day on that other camera, right? So it's just like another way of making sure that you have everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then while we're on the topic of that, obviously we have our camera harnesses, which holds both of our cameras. And again, I think for both of us, and this is not to say that if you don't use it, it's not a bad thing, but for us, our camera harness is like an essential thing because I don't know if I would like having like just my bag beside me and having to carry my bag and grab my other lens or my other camera or just hold both my cameras. Like I can't work that way. And for me, it's honestly essential to have them both on me and quick with the harness.
And a lot of photographers make fun of people who use the straps like we do, but I think like it's so much smoother. Like you said, you're not going into your bag, grabbing your other camera. You're not like harming your lens or your camera body by switching lenses. Like that's so hard on your camera if you're doing that all day, like in that wide open, like it's kind of dangerous for your camera. So I think that strap is like on, and it saves your body, like especially on a wedding day. Yeah.
And like this isn't essentially like you don't need it, right? But like I feel like it does kind of also make you look a little bit more like professional. And I don't mean this also in a bad way if you don't use them, but I think for people that are seeing you with your camera strap or your 2 cameras on, it just looks good.
Yeah.
I think.
Totally. Yeah. And then you can do things with your hands. They're just like down. Like I find that it also helps with the intimidation factor when people see you and you have a camera in their face. If you put it down beside you, it's hidden and you can talk to them like a normal person. It's not like you're a scary person with your camera in their face. So I think that's like another part of why I love it.
Yeah. I forget about that, but yeah,
yeah,
100%.
It's so true. Yeah.
Okay. So this next thing on my list here, and so this depends, I think, too, on like what you use for gear. But for me, when I go to a wedding, like I bring all of my batteries, my camera batteries, which is usually like 6 or 7. I don't use 6 or 7 batteries in a day.
You're lucky if you use 4.
Yeah, but this depends too. If you're doing video, you might use 6 or 7.
Definitely.
Right? So this all depends on your gear setup. But for us, we're probably very similar again, but like bring all of our batteries, 6 or 7, if not more. I always bring my battery charger. And this is the thing, and I've never really had to use it, but in the off chance that I blow through all my batteries, which is okay, or what if I lose my batteries and I only have the 2 of my cameras and they die? At least if I bring my battery charger, I can charge those 2. So it's just like worst case scenario. But I think it's honestly essential to have that many. Like I don't think it's very professional to bring 2 batteries to a wedding when you have to shoot for 10 hours. Yeah. So just that, because you don't want to be worried about it. Like it's one thing like that I just don't have to worry about my camera ever dying. And I think like I would be stressed if I did not bring all my batteries with me. So that is an essential. And then on also that it's kind of, I think this is the same kind of like realm, but SD cards.
Yeah.
So
very important.
Also, again, it's one of those things that I try and bring more than I will need because you never know.
And SD cards are way more finicky than batteries. So
yeah. So like an SD card could be, you put it in your camera and it's like being all weird, and then you don't really want to use an SD card that's acting up because then you're prone to have it corrupt or whatever it is. So I would rather have way more than I need. Like I would say in an average day, might be different from you, but I like in an average wedding day I usually shoot on like 8 cards.
Really?
Yeah.
What size card do you shoot on?
But I shoot on 64 gigs because I like to switch, because this is the thing, and everybody's different. Everybody's different in this way, but usually what happens is I'll like shoot the morning, it's almost full, so I'll like switch it before the ceremony, and then I'll shoot the ceremony to like dinner maybe on another card, and then sometimes I'll have to switch from dinner for the rest of the dance, and I could probably use a bigger card, like 100%, but for some reason if both my cards corrupted for one part of the day, at least it's only one part of the day and it's not the whole day, because everything's on the 2 cards.
Yeah. I think that the reality though is like the chance of 2 cards corrupting.
It's not probably going to happen.
Yeah. I think my anxiety is more like I would rather have a 200 and whatever it is card and like have it in my camera all day, go home, put it in my computer. Cause like what if I lose my case? Yes. Like for me, that's my anxiety and my logic, but it's like whatever works for you, whatever makes you the most comfortable. But like we both have an anxiety in different places with that. Yeah.
I think just having like lots of extras, like the batteries, more than you need, more storage than you need.
Keep it on your body.
You also keep it on your body. You never know how many pictures are going to take. What if something crazy happens and you don't have enough room on your cards or whatever? And then also on this topic, this seems like, to us at least, I think this is going to seem like pretty redundant, but empty cards, not half full cards. I always bring empty formatted cards.
And format them before and make sure that session is delivered and it's good to go.
Yes. Yeah, that's essential for me, because that's another thing I don't want to worry about is like, oh my God, I have like another session. What if I accidentally format it? I'm not thinking because you're on a wedding day or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
But I think for those, at least, those are like 2 things that I will always just like bring more than I need. Just because it's like those 2 things. I don't know. You just what are you gonna do if you run into a problem with those and you don't have extra?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot you can do.
I doubt anyone at that wedding's gonna have a card for you. So
Yeah, well, right. And then
Yeah.
usually you're shooting in the middle of nowhere or like at a venue, and you cannot run to
No.
wherever, Walmart, to get one, or a camera store. So the rest of these things on my list, I would say, aren't specific for weddings. They're just like, I think, essential gear that we use for a lot of things in our business, I guess.
Yeah.
So, a camera tripod.
Mm.
So I think there's lots of probably people that I also, okay, I hate tripods. No,
Yeah, me too. Unless
still
it's
have
video,
one.
I don't use them.
I think it's something that I think you feel the same way, but like I don't use a tripod unless I absolutely have to.
Like, what would be a reason to have to? For me, I'm like, I don't think you need a tripod unless you're doing video for the type of photography we do.
No, I know, but I mean, like, what about our headshots? What about other
that's
things
fair.
that
That's
we
fair.
do?
Yeah, I think that's probably the only reason you would need one.
Yeah, I think this is essential for like most people, but I don't know. Not essential, I guess. I don't know. I think it is.
I think for video, yes, of course. But I don't think for photo. That's my hot take.
Well,
unless you're doing self-portraits and like your own family photos or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because like I would never bring a tripod to a shoot.
See, I always throw it in my truck, and just in case.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Usually my tripod lives in my truck because it's just there and I don't take it out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay. This one I'm going to talk about is going to be a great reminder for both of us because I don't do this and I really should.
Okay.
And I should use it. It's lens filters. And this is not like, when I say lens filters, I don't mean like the funky filters. I mean just a protective filter to cover your glass. Because say you smash your camera into a tree and break the glass, you can't use that lens all day. And if you have a protective filter on it, you just take the filter off and you continue on.
Yeah.
Because $20 filter is more economical than a $3,500
lens. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one.
But I think that's an essential thing. And I used to, like, this is the thing, I used to have them and then I broke them and then I never got new ones, which is like, you'd think I would get a new one because it literally did its job. But here I am.
So
I don't.
Yeah.
A good camera bag, I think, is very essential. Very essential. Even, I would say, even like two camera bags.
Yeah.
Because for the amount of stuff we bring to a wedding, I couldn't bring it in one bag. Like maybe a huge one, but then a huge one's not
I use
very
two
like
every time. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want one also too. I feel like when you're looking for a camera bag, you want something that's kind of a little bit waterproof because you don't want like, it has to be weatherproof for what you're doing when you're outside and you're bringing your bag everywhere. Enough storage in it to like hold all your stuff, and that's why we bring two because one is not enough. And then I don't know. I feel like something that you like because you're going to use it if you like it. If you don't like it, you're probably not going to use it.
Yeah. So true. Yeah.
Yeah. For all the stuff we have to bring.
Yeah.
Next on the list, a flash, or at least a light source, I guess. So I mean, some people use flashes, like I think we do. Some people use video lights. Some photographers will use video lights, I think, or like you can use like video lights that are like just on a stand that you can set up. I think it just depends on like your style.
Maybe not the vibe if you're altering the state of the wedding. Like if it's a candlelit dinner, you probably don't want to put up a continuous light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I think, again, that's one of the essential things that I won't use all the time, and you are the same way. You don't use a flash all the time, but we'll always bring one.
Oh yeah, even to sessions I'll bring one because like you never know, like they might want to go in a parkade and it's pitch black and the ambient lighting is super dark and you don't want grainy photos.
Yeah. And even like little flash diffusers. Sorry, I'm losing my voice again. So the flash diffusers, I mean, for me, it's essential. I don't like the look of straight flash, just straight onto my people. I know it's trendy right now. Some people do it. Yeah, I like it for some things, but I think for most things, I like having a diffuser because it makes the light softer on people. And for most
Yes.
weddings and most stuff you're doing, that's
Mhm.
usually what people want is they want to look nice
Yeah.
and flattering. Yeah.
And even if it's on camera flash, I think it still looks better with somewhat diffused.
Yeah, and you know what? Like a diffuser doesn't have to be the fancy whatever, like things that go on top.
Yeah.
Because like I think most flashes have those little white cards you can pop up, and that's a diffuser technically.
It is.
So just like most of the time, that's even included in your flash. So really.
Yeah.
Okay. This again is not specific for weddings, but I think it's essential. I don't think we could do our jobs without it. A laptop or a desktop, like something to edit on. I think that's like, well, I don't know how. I honestly don't know how you would be a photographer if you didn't have, like, I don't think it's really possible.
Yeah, just airdrop them to your phone and use Visco. Just kidding.
Don't even give people ideas. Stop that right now.
Oh man, could you imagine?
I've seen people edit on iPads, but like I
Oh.
think that's when they're like traveling.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I wouldn't recommend. I don't know.
No.
I like also for like delivering galleries, writing blogs, like emails, like I think a computer is essential. I just please tell me if I'm wrong, but like
No,
I don't know how else are we supposed to do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, next, hard drives. Very essential.
That should be number one.
I should have started with hard drives. But cameras, I think cameras.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Cameras and then hard drives.
Yeah.
But with like what we're doing, when you're shooting like us, we shoot in RAW, so those are huge like files.
Yeah.
There's actually like no possible way to store that many photos on like a desktop or a computer. You do one
wedding
session
would be
do one wedding and your computer would crash because it's like full of your photos. So hard drives, especially, I think a hard drive in general is a necessity. And I also don't know how you're gonna do it if you don't have a hard drive.
No, you.
Yeah. Okay. And then I just have like a tiny little things here. Then it says that aren't like necessarily camera gear, but I feel like they're essential in our daily lives of like being wedding photographers, portrait. Well, I feel like mostly wedding photographers because that's what we're talking about. But things that are pretty necessary. So first of all, a vehicle.
Yeah.
A reliable vehicle.
Yeah, Jordan.
Don't look. I was about to call myself out. Okay, don't.
Jordan used to not have a very reliable vehicle back in our Nate days.
Actually, even the other one I had wasn't reliable.
No,
it wouldn't. I would like go. I would drive for half an hour and then I wouldn't have any acceleration.
So bad.
But anyways, it's kind
of
hard
you
to
have
like
a very reliable one, so that's good.
Yes, it's kind of hard to get like places if you can't drive. I know there's people that obviously do this without a vehicle, like in the cities and stuff. But I think
cities,
but I even think in the city, if you are trying to be like a professional and like you have all this gear, it's not I don't think it's the best to be taking it on like public transit and doing that. And like also you can't rely, like I think to rely on public transit when you're professionally working on like jobs and gigs and whatever, like I don't know if that's the greatest. Like they're not reliable. I know I can rely on myself and my vehicle to get myself places on time, but if I was taking the bus everywhere, I don't know if I could because sometimes they're late
and stuff still happens, but for the most part you're gonna be good.
But I think that's really important when you're trying to get places where like on time and early and everything like that. I think that's very important. And a phone, which seems like a bit dramatic for me, like put on this list.
I went through this summer where my phone, like the screen froze and it would turn on, but like you couldn't touch anything on the screen. And I was at the lake and I was like, I had to leave early because I needed a phone. Like I can't shoot without one. I can't work without one. So I had to go and buy a brand new phone for like $800 and because my contract wasn't up, but like you have to have a phone. Your brides have to contact you. Like what happens on a wedding day? Like you need to have like.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, like we work off our phones, like you said.
Yes.
So like emails, messages,
social media.
social media, we take a lot of like behind the scenes videos for our business on our phones.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those things that like it would just make our lives a lot harder. Like if we had a computer at home, I think you maybe could get away with not having a phone. But even then, I don't really think you could, because what if you drive out to a shoot and your bride texts you to say, hey, like I'm running late, and you don't get it because you don't have your phone, right? Like it's just little
or they're
things
lost
like that.
and you're lost, or
Another very important thing for us, for all that we do, we need comfy shoes. Something that's not going to blister up your feet.
Comfy clothes too. Something professional, but functional. You don't want to be like your shoes are falling apart, or like your skirt's blowing up and you're flashing everyone at the wedding.
Well, like it's really hard to do your job when you're not comfortable, or your shoes are hurting your feet.
Yes.
Or you're not dressed for it, or whatever. Yeah, it's just not, it's not comfortable, and then it makes your job just a lot harder, really.
Yeah. And we've all seen those vendors, where they're not comfortable, or they're wearing something like super cute, but like they flash you or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
things happen. We've all seen it. Like, not good.
Yeah, we don't.
You gotta be professional, but you need to be functional.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Last things on the list, and again, these are definitely not gear, but I find I need them to do my work. I think everybody does. Snacks, water, and an energy drink,
especially on a wedding day. That energy drink yesterday like really helped me
out.
Oh
God, honestly, I literally I can't go to a wedding without 2 energy drinks in the car.
Yeah,
like I don't.
You just like
it's essential.
Crash, yeah.
And it's, I don't need it for energy like in the morning. It's almost like for the days that you eat dinner, and like your body's like, you eat dinner and then your bodies start to digest it, and then you get to like, you start to get tired, and that's just a normal thing. But for us, like it's our job to not be sleepy. So if I have to take an energy drink to not be sleepy, I will be drinking that energy drink. Like it is what it is.
No,
so,
totally. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's kind of like, I would say my gear is the same. And it obviously like changes photographer to photographer. Like some might bring, I don't know, an ND filter. Like, I don't know. It depends on your style, depends on your vibe. But like, yeah, overall.
So is there anything different, Sarah, that you would bring like for video essentials?
Oh God.
Because
that's a whole other episode. There's so many freaking things you have to pack for video.
True.
Like there's so many. I would say the only other thing like I do a little differently on a wedding is I pack I do use a lot of different lenses on a wedding day.
Yeah.
Portraits, like morning, typically will do like a 24-70 or 35 and then a 50. Ceremony, I always use a 70 to 200. Mm-hmm. Kills my body, but it's just something that I like to shoot on. I don't know. I don't like to be too much in people's space during a ceremony. So I just like to be able to zoom in, get the shot, be a fly on the wall. And I love that for receptions too. Like that 70-200 for receptions, like that's my favorite. So that's the only really different thing I use. But yeah, flashes, they're the same. Cards are the same. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I thought we'd be pretty much on the same page, except for a few different things.
No, we shoot very similar and have a very similar like vibe and everything. But should we share our giveaway?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
I think we should.
Too. Yeah, we decided to do this just to kind of like get the podcast out there on our personal platforms a little bit more. We haven't shared too much about it, so we wanted to just kind of share it, get some, extra people in on it. And yeah.
I love when we shoot together, but we've never really done a shoot like this where I shoot just Super 8 and you do photo or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to do that for somebody because it's really like
it'll be a really creative collab. Yeah.
It will be. Yeah. And I know when me and Sarah shoot, it's fun to bounce off each other.
Oh, totally.
Together.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun.
I'm excited to share the Super 8 with more people. I keep trying to just like throw it in everybody's face because
and this will be nice
deserves.
for you because it's a session and not like a wedding. Like it'll kind of push you in a different way creatively because like you're not focused on photo and Super 8. Like you're just focused on Super 8. So I think it'll be really cool.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
we're excited to see who gets
whoever.
it too and figure out where we're shooting. We might like be down to go somewhere funky. Like I don't know. We're both.
We'll see what happens.
Excited.
We'll be in cahoots with whoever wins it. And we'll plan something really cool.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really neat.
Yeah. But it's out today. So go to our Instagram. It'll be like a share, like take 3 friends kind of thing. And it'll be so cool. I'm so very excited.
Please let us take your pictures. We want to take your pictures and video. Please let us. We're very excited to do it.
Yeah. No. And it's another excuse for us to get together too. So that'll be so good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. And good luck if you enter our giveaway.
Yay. If you win, I'm so excited for you.
Yes. So excited. It's going to be so good. Awesome. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.